As we all know, video games are not easy to make, so the developers have to work hard in order to make these games complete. But sometimes they may left a little piece of the game that was not programmed correctly or simply was not programmed at all. And that's when glitches occur, from swimming into solid land to having your head spinning and growing into the screen. These are the top 10 weirdest glitches in video games. But before starting, here are the obligatory rules. 1 per franchise, but if a glitch can happen in a game from a previously mentioned franchise, I'll still count it. No glitches from Superman 64 or Sonic 2006, because both of those games are so broken and glitchy it will be impossible to choose even a few. And no ROM hacks or fan-made games. I'm looking at work by professionals here. Now that all that has been said, let's begin! If there's anything I learned from playing shooter games, is that when you kill someone, he or she should stay dead. Otherwise, this happens. This glitch, known as the living dead, is mostly common in first-person shooters, especially the Call of Duty games. This happens because in a shooter game, the coding lines of a living body and a dead one are very similar, and sometimes the game might accidentally mix the coding lines, resulting in freaky stuff. But it turns out this glitch happens in other games as well, such as Crysis, Far Cry, Infamous, and Bioshock. But at least in Bioshock it's kinda funny. If Majora's Mask wasn't eerie enough, here's a glitch that can turn the game into an episode of The Twilight Zone. As you all know, in Majora's Mask you have a 3-day time limit, and on the night of the 3rd day, the moon will crash against the earth and it will be game over. But this next glitch laughs in the face of the apocalypse. To activate this glitch, go to the observatory in the last 5 minutes of the 3rd day and look through the telescope. Keep looking until only a few seconds remain and exit at exactly 2 milliseconds left. And... wait, what just happened? This is known as the 4th day glitch. The game registers it as a new day, even though a new day was not programmed to occur this way in the game. In this glitch, you'll notice that the counter has disappeared, meaning there's no more time limit. Almost every NPC in the game had vanished with the exception of a few, and the moon has been reduced to just a tiny spot in the sky. Some people say this glitch happens because the game originally had 7 days, and some of those programming codes were left in the final release. But whatever the cause is, the result is clear. You'll find yourself in an empty town with all the time of the world to do anything. But there's a problem to this. If you decide to talk to any of the few remaining NPCs, the game might crash.
Why, God? Tell me why!
Here's a classic that I'm sure anyone who has played GoldenEye has experienced or at least heard of before. Oh yes, the famous character SPAZ of GoldenEye. Imagine that you're playing the game and everything seems fine and dandy, until an NPC decides to do this. Supposedly this glitch happens when you slightly tilt the N64 cartridge while playing, and as a result, various NPCs will turn your game into Breakdance Party 007. There's an even weirder variation of this glitch from other games, but we'll be seeing that later in the list. But before we go on... Note, because I couldn't find footage with better quality, this next segment contains footage that was recorded straight from the TV screen. I apologize in advance for the lack of high quality. There's a thin line between man and animal. And only one game has crossed that line, resulting in horrifying consequences. Ladies and gentlemen, behold, the MANIMALS from Red Dead Redemption. As their name implies, these MANIMALS are a fusion between a human NPC and an animal. Imagine that you're playing the game, strolling around minding your own business, when you stumble upon the Rabbit Man, or get attacked by a pack of Wolf Men. Look up in the sky and see a flying bird man or a snake man in the grass. Or how about riding a horsewoman back to town? And better watch out for the highly aggressive cougar man. In addition to this glitch being incredibly weird, some of these man-animal hybrids can look plain scary. Jesus Christ, how horrifying! Thankfully, Rockstar has removed this glitch from the game, but the horrors caused by these monsters will never be forgotten. Here's an interpretation of the average reaction of people who experience this glitch. Yeah man, I'm riding in my quad and... oh crap, I fell. Oh well, I guess I'll now hit the bottom and die. What the f***? This glitch that I like to call as fall into oblivion can be simply described as falling through the ground into an unregistered area in the game that has nothing in it. Basically, falling under the map. This can happen in pretty much every Grand Theft Auto game, but also in other sandbox games like EA Skate and other Rockstar games like LA Noire. But the strangest example of this glitch can be found in Vice City. If you jump from a bike into the ceiling of a store and then jump into the black empty space, you'll end up in a strange, partially desolated version of the city. Sort of like the 4th Day glitch, but way, way weirder. I mean, just look at this place! And unlike the other Oblivions in the game, where once you fall you'll be sent back out, in this one you can roam around freely and be stuck there unless you die. Nothing else to say about this one, except be careful where you step. Number 5 in this list are actually 2 glitches from the same series. One of them is pretty cool, and the other one is potential nightmare fuel. They come from Super Smash Bros. Melee and Brawl. In Melee, go to the character selection menu, plug your controller in controller port 3, and set your character as human. Then place yourself over the name selection box and hold the B button while pressing A twice. After this, you will be sent to the stage selection screen, and when you enter the stage, you will have the ability to take control of Master Hand. All his moves and powers are all available at your control. No, this is not an Easter egg. It's a legitimate glitch that happens because if the game advances without you selecting a character, it'll load the first character ID in the programming code, which is Master Hand. This glitch is pretty hard to accomplish because it requires perfect timing, but the result is beyond satisfying. Without a doubt, the coolest yet strangest glitch in Melee. However, there's another glitch in this series which I'm sure a lot of you have seen or heard of before. It can be accomplished in both Melee and Brawl if you have something to hack the game with, like GameShark or the Homebrew channel. Use the moveset swap ability, which allows you to swap a character's moveset for another character's, resulting in horrifying digital monsters. These abominations occur because some of the moves are linked to the character model, and changing the moveset rearranges the character model. Swaps like Ike and Marth work because they have similar body structures, but other swaps like Pikachu and Ganondorf, it looks like a freaking fursuit! But there is more. Toon Link with Meta Knight moves becomes a strange crab-shaped monstrosity. Peach with Sonic's moves looks like something from The Thing. Mr. Game & Watch with Rob's moves hardly looks recognizable at all. Ike with Olimar's moves looks like he got his limbs sucked into his ribcage. Yoshi with Donkey Kong's moves looks like the Cloverfield monster. And many more mutations. I know what you're thinking. Media Master, you said at the beginning of the list that you were not going to include hacks! But the thing is, Hacking only allows you to change the moveset, but the glitch itself is all in the game's programming code. And as far as I know, Melee and Brawl are not ROM hacks, so I'll still count it. This glitch can easily be avoided by simply not hacking the games at all. So remember kids, if you try to play God with video games, be aware of the consequences. By the way, if you thought the Manimals looked disturbing, have a look at the fusion between Peach and Kirby. The Sims, the perfect game to create your own alternate reality world. You can do just about anything while keeping a minimum of realism. The games have a few glitches, but nothing so bad, right? What the hell was that thing? Apparently in Sims 3 you can have a perfectly normal couple with nothing wrong. But in a strange case scenario, the baby of said couple will be born looking like this. Somewhere deep down in the programming code something went wrong, horribly wrong, and horribly deformed. Some of these deformities may vary from having a baby with a disembodied face to a baby merged with a slender, malformed adult body. My god, just look at that bastard move! And in a really strange case scenario, the baby might be born not with a deformed body of an adult, but with a deformed body of a horse. I am not kidding here. At this point you probably have seen enough of deformed body glitches with the Manimals, the moveset swaps, and the monster babies, right? Well, sorry to say, but there's one more to see, and it will be pretty nasty. What's that flying over the skies of Fallout? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No! It's a freaking floating body part! Ew. No, seriously, that's the head of a dead person floating in mid-air. It's just... there! And not just heads, no. Sometimes the body will just be floating there, partially dismembered, with nothing but piles of flesh lying under it. And sometimes there's a twist to this glitch, where you find the piles of bloody flesh floating in the air, instead of... the skin. And in really strange cases, you might see... You know what? This is pretty self-explanatory. Supposedly this glitch happens after killing someone, saving the game, and then coming back. The game might forget that those recently deceased characters should stay dismembered in the ground, and sometimes might render them alive again. Well, almost alive. Okay, now I promise you, no more glitches involving horribly deformed or mutilated characters. But there's still one more glitch to see in another one of Bethesda's most popular game series. The Elder Scrolls series. It pretty much has it all. Awesome combat, interesting characters, great storyline and replay value, and overused jokes that stop being funny after a while.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
But aside from that, the gameplay is absolutely flawless. Well, maybe not that much. Remember what I said earlier about another variation of the character SPAZ glitch later in the list? This is it. But this one is even weirder, because it isn't just characters spazzing out. These are total animation and character model glitches. You find yourself playing the game and everything is going smoothly until you see a random enemy, animal, or person completely glitching out in its animation. From totally spazzing out to being locked without animation to... I got nothing. These glitches, as far as I know, are completely unpredictable. No one really knows how they're caused and they can just show up at random. Another thing that makes these glitches so unique in comparison to the other glitches in the list is that they are more varied and probably more frequent in the game. And they're overall just... stranger. I mean, seriously, when have you seen a saber-toothed tiger glitching to the point that it literally flies off the screen? And bonus points for this glitch for showing up in other games as well outside the Elder Scrolls series. Remember EA Skate? Yeah, it happens there too. And many more games. Bottom line is, these glitches, they're weird, they're unpredictable, There are many and they come in different ways. And you can bet your ass that when you play the next Elder Scrolls game, you'll find these as well.
I need you on your feet. We're in trouble here.
Number 1 in this list is no ordinary glitch. It is a legend. A legend passed down from generation to generation. A glitch that has been regarded by many as the strangest and most bizarre glitch of all time. A glitch whose weirdness can only be matched by its mysterious backstory. A glitch so weird and so famous that... Oh, screw it! You'll know what I'm talking about. Number 1 is MISSINGNO. Wow, bet you didn't saw that one coming, huh? A lot of people, even those who are not Pokemon fans, have heard the story of MISSINGNO. But what exactly is it? Well, even though I may not be a Pokemon expert... Shut up! I'll try my best to explain what makes this glitch so strange and unique in its kind. First, how to find MISSINGNO. The original MISSINGNO glitch can be found in Pokemon Blue and Red. First, talk to the old man who shows you how to catch a Pokemon. A lot of players usually ignore the tutorial, but listening to it is vital to finding MISSINGNO. After the tutorial, go to either Cinnabar or Seafoam Island. Explore the coastline for a while, and then you'll get into a random encounter where you'll see the glitch in all of its glory. A deformed, box-shaped mess of sprites with the display name of MISSINGNO. Imagine being a young kid back in the day and finding this glitch for the first time. You would have probably freaked out, right? I know I would have, but how does this happen? The name MISSINGNO stands for missing number, and it happens when the game tries to access data of a non-existent Pokemon. As you all know, all the areas in the game have a specific Pokemon data list that determines what kind of Pokemon you'll encounter in the area. All the areas, except Cinnabar and Seafoam Island. So because of that, both of those areas use the same Pokemon data list as the last area you visited. After seeing the old man's demonstration in the previous area, the game will store the player's name in a data buffer. As a result, the game will access the hexadecimal values of the player's name for Pokemon encounters at Cinnabar and Seafoam Island. Now, when the game tries to select a value that isn't an existing Pokemon, MISSINGNO will appear. But there's more to this glitch than just its strange appearance. Encountering MISSINGNO can lead to really strange side effects. If you check the Pokemon Hall of Fame after encountering MISSINGNO, you'll see that the whole list is completely glitched. And if you catch MISSINGNO, the 6th item in the player's menu will be increased to 128. Other rumors suggest that catching MISSINGNO could cause your game to be erased or permanently corrupted. I personally don't know if this is true, but let's move on. Pokemon Yellow has an even glitchier version of MISSINGNO. If you encounter MISSINGNO and decide to catch it, everything seems normal at first, but then you'll encounter another MISSINGNO. And if you decide to fight this MISSINGNO with your recently caught MISSINGNO, the game might crash or reset itself. But if by any chance you successfully manage to fight MISSINGNO, you'll notice that the battle music have turned into a strange buzz. But that's not the weird part. In some cases after the battle, you'll experience incredibly glitchy side effects, like having your screen filled with endless clones of yourself and turning invisible. Other things like your stats will be affected as well. But the MISSINGNO legacy continues. For example, in Pokemon Emerald, MISSINGNO is represented as a pair of giant question marks, a black ball with a question mark, and an egg. And like the other games, catching MISSINGNO in Emerald can lead to weird side effects. But MISSINGNO is near impossible to find in Emerald, so you don't have to worry about that. And finally, the supposed backstory of MISSINGNO. There's a lot of speculation and fan theories about this, but I'll try to gather the most I can. Several players have determined that MISSINGNO is probably a bird that was originally going to be a legendary bird Pokemon that was removed from the game at the last minute, but wasn't removed entirely. Another myth says that MISSINGNO was supposed to be the evolution of Kangaskhan, but it was also removed from the game at the last minute. And other rumors say that MISSINGNO is a deleted god Pokemon like Arceus. But again, these are all rumors, so we may never know for sure what MISSINGNO is or what it was supposed to be. In the end, the strangeness of this glitch, the even stranger side effects it can cause, and the huge amount of recognition it has received over the years makes MISSINGNO worthy of being #1 in my opinion. Media Master signing off, and seeing you next time. Yeah, man, I'm riding in my quack and wait, riding in my quack? Are you serious? Oh my god.